in America, in Hollywood, they don't like creative people. I'm better if movies deal with life, and life is never happening in stories. I was asked to come by Francis Ford Coppola, who I still respect a lot, to do something that maybe only I could do.
Thank you.
But then I really found out that nobody wanted to know what only I could do. Everybody wanted to do something that anybody else could do.
That's flowers.
The entire team of Taj Bengal is very happy to have you here.
Wow.
Pleasure to welcome you to our center.
I was exhausted. And then I realized I could finally do something that I was good at. I could make a film on the road, tell it with my people, with Robbie, with Sam, and I could make it free to my own rules.
So,
Cheers, cheers.
are you happy to be in Kolkata?
I did not want to become an American filmmaker. I wanted to go back to Europe and do my job, which was a different kind of business than American filmmaking. Actually, a good film needs to have a few flaws. And a good film for me is a film that finds its own truth. And a story has its truth. Every story has its own truth. And a story that is searching its own truth is something that I like and that I think is a good film. A lot of movies are not concerned at all with the idea of truth. But every film can find its own truth, and you feel it in the film. You fall into the film, and you feel like you're well kept. You feel like you're at home in the film. And every film is about the question, how do we live? And how do we live in our times? Because it changes how we live. I was a photographer before I even knew that one could be a photographer. I took pictures, and that has stayed with me. But more than anything else, I loved paintings. Slowly I realized movies were better than painting. They were much more complete. Eventually realized the free art form that I was, in a way, promoting anyway with my way of storytelling was documentaries. And nobody wanted a script from you if you did a documentary. And I started to make more and more documentaries because it was such a free form and there were no rules in documentaries. In storytelling, there's so much more rules and become so formulated. And in documentaries, I started to introduce fictional elements. I don't have a concept of life. Life changes amazingly, and I've seen it change so often in my life, and sometimes in a film it escaped me, and sometimes I felt I had an idea of what life at a certain moment meant for people in a certain place. I try to show possibilities in my film and encourage people to seize the chances they have. I'm not a guru, I'm a searcher. That's about the opposite. When I discovered a Japanese director whose work I had not seen before, whose work had not existed in the Cinematheque or in any other videotheques or anywhere else in the world, I had never even heard the name of Yasujiro Ozu. And then I got to meet his movies, not the man, he was already dead, and his films became like the paradise of filmmaking that was definitely over but had once existed. For me, they were the most beautiful films ever made on the planet. Because of Ozu, I have a very special thing with Japan, because I think his films really have a healing power, and his films are medicine for the soul. And history is the greatest teacher to help humanity onto a better way. Because if you avoid mistakes that have been made in the past, you're already on a much better track. Every fifth person in Germany believes in their messages, and their messages are disaster, because their messages are really old history. There are textbook fascism, there are textbook mistakes that mankind has made, and that the entire humanity has suffered from more than anything else. Even in America, who were the good guys for us to get rid of fascism, even that there now who is a president who is turning history upside down, who doesn't even know history and pretends that what he's doing is something new or even a revolution. I can't sleep because of that, because it just drives me crazy that history starts repeating itself, and especially that sort of nationalist history. Nationalism has never helped any people. Nationalism has never helped a country. It is the opposite of what this planet needs. We had 16 days. 16 days is not much. The idea that we had in the script that every night we would see a glimpse of his dream was not doable for us. In 16 days, impossible. You have to find these images and you have to dedicate a lot of time to these komorebis and to everything that appears in these short dream sequences. So I realized finally Donata had a very specific task, and she could dedicate the same amount of time that we had, 16 days, to producing these dreams. It was something special. I was a young man and I had just made my fourth film. And there he was, the man himself, standing in the lobby of the Berlin Film Festival. Nobody protected him, nobody was around him. He was standing there having a coffee all by himself. And I thought, this is my chance. And I had a beating heart, and I approached him if I could talk to him a little bit. And actually, he was happy that somebody was actually talking to him, because I think he felt a little lonely. So we spent 15, 20 minutes, and I had a coffee too, and he answered all my questions. And it's not, I mean, I'm not a giant man, but I had to look up to him like this. He was really tall.
Yeah. He was tall.
He was tall and very elegant, and I had seen his film, Distant Thunder, and then, to my greatest joy, he won the festival
Oh, okay.
with Distant Thunder, and I was so happy for him. But I only saw him once.
Yeah, that's it.